Charles Peedy and Laura Bowman. And we'll have both of you, and Mr. Finley, Mr. Peedy is with you. Okay, thank you.
Yes, he's right here, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Peedy, pardon me, yeah, Mr. Peedy and Ms. Bowman, both raise your right hands for me. Swear that testimony in this case to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Bowman, say something?
Yes, I do. Sorry, my screen
Okay,
froze.
thank you.
Oh, there's it.
And Mr. Finley, do you have questions for Mr. Peedy as to the basis for his need for protection order?
I do, Your Honor. I'd ask the court how much detail do we need to go into here?
Well, I mean, what I read in the petition is that Ms. Bowman flips off Mr. Peedy, makes false statements about him. And if you want to add something to that, go ahead with your questions to Mr. Peedy.
All right, thank you. Mr. Peedy, tell us about the incident with your car and Ms. Bowman.
My car had been keyed, and Miss Bowman came to my house and apologized for it and paid me for my deductible and admitted the guilt. She said that she didn't key my car. She said she actually used a claw hammer and came to my house and admitted to it.
All right, and then after that happened, was there an incident with her at a park?
Yes, so then I went to a park to have dinner with my cousin, and she walked around the park twice. On her second trip, she started yelling at me and my company. One of the fathers from my school was right behind her and saw the whole thing, and she just trying to cause a disturbance with me and the three kids and my cousin, and we pretty much just ignored her and went about our way, and it's just nonstop harassment. She just won't let up.
How many times has she summoned you into court for restraining orders against you?
I think like 3 different times, 2 or 3 different times.
And were any of those granted?
No, they were not.
All right. And has she also called your employer and said,
She apologized for everything that she had done, admitted it was all a lie, tried to take me to court again, and then the judge dismissed it because he dismissed it
okay,
prior to that a couple of weeks.
all right, listen to what I'm asking. Has she also called your employer and tried to get you fired?
Yes, she has.
Okay, do you remember what she said to the employer?
She said that I was a pedophile and I was stalking her kids at the bus stop, which is at the corner where I live. And I drive my son to school every single day. So when I leave for school, her kids are catching the bus at my corner.
Is there any truth to any of those allegations?
No truth at all whatsoever. I never even made eye contact with kids.
And those allegations were the basis of one of the protection orders that was denied for her.
Correct.
All right. Is there anything else you want to add here?
I'm just really tired of her harassing me. I mean, it's just nonstop. She comes and apologizes. She's even called my employer again after all this recently and accused my secretary of having a speech impediment and her being crazy, and she just won't stop harassing. She's got on My Neighbor on Facebook, all kinds of different stuff. She's actually even put signs on my street signs in front of my house, saying I'm a pedophile.
Charlie, I forgot what I wanted to ask you there. Is there, does her behavior cause you to fear for your safety?
Extremely, it does. She's actually drove through my yard twice. The cops came, she yelled at them, slammed the door in their face. Nothing happened with that. I had to get rid of my son's dog because I'm afraid that she's going to hit him. I don't let my son play in the front yard anymore because I'm afraid that she's going to drive through my yard again and kill my son. My son has been losing sleep from it because he knows what's going on. He asked me what happened to our car, and I can't lie to him. And he's just really distraught and having a hard time with it. And it's affected my work. I've missed multiple days of work, and she's trying to run me out of the town that I've worked in for 25 years, being a taxpaying citizen. And it's just not fair that she thinks that she could exploit the court system to try to get me away. And
All right.
it just don't seem fair.
All right, thank you. I think that should be sufficient, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Finley. Ms. Bowman, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to ask for an extension. My tribe has a free clinic tomorrow at our DuPont facility, the Cowlitz Indian Tribe, with Northwest Justice Project, and I would like to speak with an attorney. In addition, I'm also waiting for police reports and camera footage because I believe that the majority of what was just said is wrongful and false.
Okay, so
So I'm gonna be speaking with an attorney tomorrow. At 10 o'clock, I have an appointment in DuPont. And I also have police reports and camera footage that I'm waiting for.
camera footage of what?
From the city of Olympia, from the top of the light post, from when he was following me around, videotaping me multiple days in a row. There's a lot more to this story. And I've
Okay.
tried to file 3 protection orders against him, but the protection order I tried to file when he got the attorney. I am an educator. I'm very well known in my community. I work in Native education, and I could not miss my student groups. I kept missing groups because he had not been served. And then when the judge at family court, he said that the reason I didn't accept he offered me an attorney. I did not accept it. That was my bad. I screwed up. I should have accepted the attorney. I wanted things to be over with because I chair an STI committee for my tribe. I just got my master's in elementary education. I do all kinds of things. I'm too busy to harass this man. I need an attorney because I didn't come to court last time because I couldn't. I kept showing up. He wasn't showing up. The people that were facilitating my middle school groups were getting very frustrated with me. I was getting emails from my students, Miss Bowman, where are you? And so I chose to go to my students instead of this. And this is all wrongful. There's so many falsehoods, so many. My children I have a statement from my daughter. My children have had mental issues because he has said that he wants to have sexual relations with my daughter multiple times. He's referenced it. Even after I took him to court last time for it, he did it again. I never keyed his car or whatever he said I did. I never drove through his yard. I never did any of that. These are all false accusations, and I would like legal representation.
Okay, so you told, Mr. Petey told me that you told him that you keyed his car and that you paid for the damage.
Yeah, that never happened. That never happened. He has been making things up since I did call his work back in February to warn them of his pedophilia and what he had said and done to my daughter multiple times. And then after that, that's when everything got ugly. That's when he accused me of driving through his yard and called the police on me. That is when all this ugly stuff started happening.
Okay, so you're denying all of that. You're
All of
saying,
it. Yes, absolutely.
did you pay him for anything?
I paid him for nothing.
So didn't give him a check, you didn't give him cash, you didn't Venmo him anything. You've not given him any money at all.
No.
And how about the incident that he describes when he's at a park and you're seen walking by and he says he has a witness who'll testify that you were yelling at him?
I can tell you exactly what happened that day, sir. I am an avid walker. I have an app right here on my phone that says I've been walking around that park multiple times every day for years. I also have neighbors that are willing to give statements. I mean, you can ask anyone. That's how Mr. PD and I met, was because I'm a walker and I used to walk by his house. And I was walking around the park like I do every day, and I have never, ever seen him there. ever with his, he has a child and I've never seen him at that park. And I thought it was weird because we live a block away. What kind of parent doesn't take their kid to the park? So I'm walking around. I walk around 3 times, not 2, 3 times. And the third time I was like, wait a minute. He was following me around this park, videotaping me multiple days in a row. And now he's showing up in a place that I frequent that he's never ever at. So I walked back and I took pictures and I have them. And I have pictures of his truck at the car because that was something that was against me, not me against him. And I walked back and I started taking pictures just from far away. And then he was ducking, like trying to hide from the pictures. And so I went over there and I said, how does it feel? How does it feel to have somebody taking pictures of you? And then I did not speak to anyone. I went up to him. I said, what, you've followed me around multiple days in a row, videotaping me, and now you're showing up at a place that I frequent that I have never ever seen you before. And I said, you're getting served. I will see you in court. And then I went the very next day, got a protection order. I showed up to court twice. He never showed up. And that's when my middle school groups and my students and everybody was harassing me because I was missing work. And so I chose that day, I made the mistake to not go to court and go to my students instead of going to court, which was a mistake on my part. But this man has been harassing me. Like this, everything that he's saying, he is actually doing. There's a lot of projection. There's a lot of gaslighting. I don't every time I talk to this man, I get a different answer for the same question. This man also, in addition to everything else, he's got 7 acres in Shelton with a house. He lives in a teeny tiny mold infested house surrounded by single moms that he has harassed. He's harassed so many all around. And he's got 7 acres and a house in Shelton. At his age, I'm sorry, but my dream would be to have acreage and build and he's got a kid. Like, why is he choosing not to live on his 7 acres that he's had his whole life with a house in Shelton and said he's living in this teeny tiny little mold infested house instead of, I mean, to me, that just speaks volumes. A lot of things speak volumes, but anyway, that's.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Petey, how did Ms. Bowman pay you for the damage to your car?
She came to my house to apologize because she thought and she came to my front door. I opened the door. I realized it was her. And I said, you should probably just leave. That's all I said to her. She turned around and walked away. Well, I was already doing dump runs that day. So I walked around to into my house and through the house to the garage. I opened up the garage door and bam, there she was. She walked up to my garage door and I said, Laura, I thought I asked you politely to just leave. I don't want to see you ever again. Please leave me alone. And she said, I just want to make it right. Well, I used to always drive my work truck to work and I stopped doing it because of her harassment and the way she was harassing and badgering my company through the internet. So I didn't want her to think that I was working there anymore. So she thought that I got fired. And she's like, I just want you to get your job back. And I was like, well, you just called Carrie 3 days ago and apologized. And Carrie played it off like she had to talk to the employer to try to get my job back. She didn't want to engage with her because she knows that she's crazy. So I said, well, what do you want? And she's like, oh, I just want you to forgive me. And I was like, Laura, when you keyed my car in November of last year, I forgave you because I don't want to carry you in my backpack. I don't hold resentment. I don't hold grudges. I just wanted to die. I just want to go away. And she's like, well, I just want you to get your job back. And I was like, well, what do you really want? And she's like, I just want you to forgive me. And I was like, well, if you want me to forgive me, tell me that everything that you've done has been a lie. And she's like, okay, I admit that I made up all this stuff and it's all a lie. And I was like, if you really want me to forgive you, you admit to me that you keyed my car. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, I did not key your car. And I said, Laura, you're a liar. You just admitted to be a liar. And I know you keyed my car because nobody else would do that. All the neighbors love me. And she's like, I did not key your car. I used a claw hammer. And the reason why I did that is because I planned on smashing all the windows out and busted in all the fenders. And I said, oh my goodness, why would you even do that? I didn't do anything to you. And then so she says, well, I just want to make it right. And I was like, well, it's $3,700 for a paint job, but it's $500 for the deductible. And she said, oh, well, can I pay for the deductible? And I said, no, just please go away and let's just never ever talk again. She's like, I just need to make it right with you. And I said, okay, I will let you pay for the deductible and I will forgive you 100%. And you just need to stay away from me for at least 3 to 5 years. She said, okay, I'll bring the money back to your house. I said, no, I don't want you coming to my house ever again. I will meet you at your bank in 15 minutes. So we went to her bank. I got the money from her in front of multiple cameras at the bank. There's stoplight cameras, there's bank cameras, there's all kinds. And then he gave me the money. I went over to my bank and I deposited it, and then I went about our way. And then I was hoping that it'd all go away. Well, then the next thing you know, I get another Superior Court case that the judge denied her for. And I was like, what is she doing? She's trying, basically what she's doing is she knows I have a lawyer. She knows that it's costing me money. I'm a single income that has a full-time parent. She knows that I can't afford a lawyer. And what she's trying to do is make me go broke and push me out of the neighborhood when I have done nothing wrong. But be nice to her. I haven't drove past her house in over 7 months. Since November, not one time have I drove past her house. And that's a shortcut for me to get home. I tack on a minute and a half of every single day just to get home to avoid her. And she goes out of her way to try to make contact with me. When I drive away from my house to go to the school, I have to drive by that park. I drive by that park at least 4 to 8 times a day coming back and forth from work. I completely avoid her area just to give her respect, and she cannot return that favor. And she's just relentless on trying to terrorize my life. And she thinks that I'm just going to run away and move back to my property when I'm not. That's not, I don't have to do that. I live in Olympia because it has a better school for my son, and he's already been going to school there for 2 years. And I don't want him to start. And this will be if I leave now, this will be the third school he's had to adapt to, and I don't want him to have to do that because he's doing really good in school now. So I'm just really
All right.
tired of the harassment. She's
So tell me
relentless.
what happened at the park. Ms. Bowman says that she was videotaping you and came up and spoke with you directly. You tell me what you think happened.
Your Honor, could I interject for just a minute? This was the subject of a previous restraining order brought by Ms. Bowman. And there are declarations from, I think, 2 or maybe 3 witnesses on Mr. Petey's behalf in there. If the court looks at those, I think you'll see that they're consistent with what he's going to say here, and I'll let him go ahead and answer your question now. Ms. Bowman
Okay.
didn't have any witnesses.
So she walked around. That I noticed, as I realized, she walked around the whole park, which is the city block, twice. On the second trip that I noticed that she was walking around is when she started screaming at me from the road. Well, I was at the table, as a picnic table, while my nieces were eating dinner, and my son was sitting there playing on the phone. So I didn't have the phone in my hand. And as she's yelling at me, I told my cousin to don't even look at her. She wants us to engage. Just don't even pay attention because she won't stop. And then one of the fathers that I see every day at school was walking right up behind her and saw it and heard the whole thing. And he gave me a declaration along with my cousin that I was with, them both stating of exactly what happened. And I actually didn't even talk to her that day because I knew that there was stuff going on, and I knew that if anything I said to her, she's going to try to use against me. So I didn't even say a word to her, and because there's so many people, she walked away, but she got halfway around the park, still screaming and yelling at us. And that's how people were noticing it.
And what she's screaming and yelling.
I couldn't really hear her, but she was screaming at my truck. And I was trying to ignore her, so I couldn't really hear her because the kids were laughing and screaming at the park. So but she was taking pictures of us, videotaping us for no reason. We didn't even acknowledge her at all.
All right.
Yeah, I would have to open it up.
Your Honor, may I speak about the day that I went over to his house?
Just tell me, did you go to the bank with Mr. Petey?
No, I didn't go with him. I, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
You and Mr. Petey meet at a bank,
no. No,
so
no, no.
you
He,
were at a bank, didn't hand him $5.
no,
And so he's making this up?
yes, what happened? I did go over there to, because I thought he was moving. And when I went over there, I knocked on his door and I brought this can of peach peace tea because he so told me a long time ago that he liked peach tea. So I knock on the door, he opens and he says, "You need to leave." So I go, "Okay." And I set the peach tea down and I started walking home. He comes around the corner, he opens his garage door and looks at me. So I start walking toward him and he goes, "That's not an invitation." I said, "Okay, well, why would you, I'm walking around the corner to go home and you just opened your garage door." So then he starts yelling at me about my ex-husband. He's like, "Why don't you go blah, 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 like you did your ex-husband?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he said something about something about my ex-husband from a long time ago, which was a domestic violence thing that because I have a scar from it. Anyway, so we start talking and I said, "I just want to come over because this is super ugly." I said, I don't like animosity between my neighbors. I just want to just be cordial. Like we don't have to be friends, nothing. And I was there for 4 hours, Your Honor. He would not let me leave. And not like he was holding me for ransom, but he kept talking to me and talking. And he's like, "Wait, one more thing and then I'll let you go. One more thing and then I'll let you go. But wait, one more thing and then I'll let you go." And he kept telling me, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this. He even told me that he's only slept with one person in the last 7 years. That's how much he was talking the whole time. I'm just saying that he's telling me all these things. And he just, for 4 hours, he was talking to me. And I kept saying, "Well, I got to go. I got to go." And he's like, "But wait, one more thing, and then I'll let you go." Like he was absolutely did not want me to leave his premises, but I did. And I went home.
All right, thank you.
And there were neighbors, by the way, there were neighbors all over the place coming and going. It was a Sunday morning and there's witnesses. There's tons of witnesses. We were in the yard the whole time.
How close do the two of you live together?
2 houses
Ms.
down.
Bowman?
There is a little hill in between, so we cannot see each other's homes.
And Mr. Petey, if I asked you for a bank statement showing that you deposited $500 on the day you met Ms. Bowman at the bank, would it show that?
Yes, sir.
We can show it to you right
I
now.
can show it to you right now. I'm on my mobile banking trying to find it. It's right here.
And what day is that?
That would have been April 14th.
And what bank?
I'm at Heritage and her bank is Wells Fargo.
So were you at Wells Fargo or you took the money
I
over
met
to
her at Wells
Heritage? Or did you-
Fargo and I'm sorry, go ahead.
So which bank did you meet Ms. Bowman at?
At Wells Fargo,
And she handed you money there?
correct.
And then you went over to your bank?
Exactly.
And how do you know it was Ms. Bowman who drove through your yard?
Because I actually was in my kitchen window and I looked over and seen her. She was that close. She did it twice. She drove through one way. I went outside and tried to see if I could talk to one of the neighbors. They said they heard a horn honking, but she thought that that was my alarm on my car being set. And then I went back on the house to try to calm down, and then she drove back through the other way. And then I have pictures of the marks, but I I couldn't take a picture through the kitchen window fast enough to actually see her plate. It was all blurry. Because I had an older phone.
All right, thank you.
And then when the cops came, they went up and talked to her. She slammed the door in their face, and he came back down to talk to me. And as we were talking, she drove by again, speeding down Union Street in front of the cop. But obviously he wasn't in with his radar, so he couldn't stop her for that. Later on that night, she came down again, walking down the hill, yelling at me, calling me a cop, calling little, you couldn't even imagine what she was saying. But she was calling me a cop, calling little word that I prefer not to say. And so I called the cops again, and that's a part of their notes. They didn't make a report. They just took notes.
All right, thank you. All right, first of all, I'm gonna deny the request for continuance in this case. It's been hard enough for the court. We've set so many hearings where there's just one party present. Having both parties present today, we're going to conduct the hearing. This matter has been before the court numerous times, both parties filing petitions. And it's clear to me looking back through the cases, which is what I was doing during the moments of silence, is that the court's approach of saying it's hard to discern between the two of you who's the one that's aggravating the situation more than the other. And that's why the court just keeps denying orders on a regular basis. And that clearly hasn't worked because we're back here again. In this case, I'm going to find that the preponderance of the weight goes to me believing Mr. Petey's side of the version or of the version of events. And so I will grant the request for protection order. Ms. Bowman, you're to have absolutely no contact with Mr. Petey at all for the next year. No contact with his son. You're not to go within 100 feet of him, his home, his vehicle, or his son. And that changed. That's similar to the temporary order that is in effect because 1,000 feet within the neighborhood would be very problematic. So I believe 100 feet is a functional distance to assert. Mr. Petey, this order will be in effect for 1 year from today's date. If you want it renewed, you'll have to come back to court and ask, have it renewed. A copy of the order is available in the court file for either one of you if you want to access that. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Abhilash Khanna and Kayla Riley.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, if you both activate your videos.
Okay, wait, I'm trying. Give me 1 second. Is there any way I can translate for Abhilash?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
What's your relation?
I'm her daughter, Payal, last name Khanna. Yes.
We're speaking in Hindi?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Riley?
Okay.
Right. Ms. Khanna and Ms. Riley, both raise your right hands, please. Do you swear that testimony in this case to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. And Ms. Khanna, what is your business?
She owns 2 gas stations.
And so, and person translating your name is,
Payal, last name Khanna.
yeah, so spell your first name for me, please.
Payal. And last name Khanna.
Thank you, Pyle. So Pyle, what I'm going to ask you to do is when I say something in English, if you just translate that into Hindi so that your mom can answer the question and you tell me what she says.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so Ms. Khanna, so when I say that, I'm referring to Abhilash.
Okay.
Ms. Khanna, tell me briefly why you need this protection order.
सारा कुछ असली ने गाड़ी जाके कर गई अब टायर पंचर कर दिया हरास कर दी जो भी है तू बोल देगी
मैं तो बोलूंगा कहता कि जो बोलूंगी वही तो ट्रांसलेट करना।
हाँ तो दस ना भी इतना करके गली जाके बार हरास कर दिया बोल दे कोई
Hey, so she said on the day we applied the case, she and my brother have a relationship and they got into a fight. But every time they get into a fight, she comes to my mom's house and then she does all bunch different kind of stuff. This time she punctured our 3 cars with the sharp object like 5 to 6 times. That cost us more than like 1,500 to fix those. Plus she went to her house and then she afterwards came to my house. My house was also her house, and I'm living in one of the houses as a renter. So she went to both houses, punctured my car, and then went to her house, punctured her 2 cars too as well. Even our whole neighborhood has filed a complaint and submitted the videos to the cop that she comes to our street nonstop. Every time they get into an argument, my her just start coming to our streets, honking even at the midnight at 12, and speeding really fast on the road. So yes. Even the last year, we also submitted the restraining order. She went to one of our business and hit the gas pumps with the car and then yelled in front of all the customers. But then we were not able to show up to the code date because of the work. But then we let it go, but it's keep happening. So we're trying to do it again.
And when did the puncturing of tires occur?
30 तरीक ਨੂੰ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ।
डेट याद है लिखिए नहीं उसके
Let me see really quick.
the 32nd Monday last
So it was like 2 weeks ago when we got
Okay,
a restraining order, just day before that.
and Ms. Riley, is this why you've been charged with the felony?
Your Honor, I did do it, but it's because.
Okay, hold on. Let's just stop right there. So is this why you've been charged with the felony?
Yes, this is why I was charged with it, but it's because me
Okay,
and
say just stop. And the reason I'm telling you that is because you're facing a pretty serious charge here.
yes,
And
But-
you don't have a lawyer with you today.
not today,
And
but
if the
tomorrow.
lawyer was here with you today, the lawyer would say, because you have a pending felony charge, you should not say anything about that. I am confident that's what the lawyer would tell you, because you've been placed under oath and anything you say today is available to the prosecutor and they can use it in any trial against you.
Yes,
So
sir.
understand that. And I am really confident that a lawyer would say, do not say anything.
You're right, but there's just so much to this story that needs to be told, Your Honor.
Well, you may think so, but it could result in you ending up in jail. So I just want to be very clear about that. So you can say, I'm not going to tell you you can't talk. I'm just saying, I'm sure your lawyer, and you must have a lawyer on the criminal charge. I assume you've already appeared and they've appointed an attorney. Am I right?
Yes.
And who's your attorney?
I forgot his name, but I was incarcerated for a day and I spoke to him briefly. And we have trial on the 5th where I have to appear.
Right? And
And
did you tell him that you wanted to appear at the protection order hearing and you wanted to tell the court that you know, whatever it is you want to tell me, did you tell your lawyer that that's what you intended to do?
no, I have not.
Okay. Because your lawyer would not be happy if he heard that from you.
Sorry.
Because he would think you're really making a bad mistake in doing that and you're hurting your own. Your hearing tomorrow is what's called an arraignment. That's just where that's the initial hearing. And there, unless you've worked something out with your lawyer, there will be no resolution to the case at the hearing tomorrow. It just is very brief. So that's what's currently scheduled. And then from that date, tomorrow, a trial would then be scheduled. So I will reiterate one last time. I am quite confident that your attorney would say, do not say anything today.
Okay. Then I will stay quiet today and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right. And I understand that from your standpoint, you believe there's all kinds of other things at play here.
Not that they matter and not that it's an excuse, but it just plays an impact on what I was feeling. I mean, I've been dealing with this family for 4 or 5 years now. And yeah, with their son, not them, like they're not the issue. It's just a lot.
Okay. But they're the ones asking for the protection
They're
order
protecting
and
their brother.
Get-
They're protecting their brother. They're protecting her son. Like
okay.
they're gonna do
So
whatever they want to protect him because I have a child. This is our daughter, right? This is my daughter and his daughter. He is a 20-something-year-old man, and I was 16 having her. So there's just so much that goes into place. Like not that in its excuse. It's just there's so much of built up anger that caused it, built up trauma that caused it.
okay. All right. So I just want to be really clear. The only petitioner here is Abalash on behalf of herself. That's all. It's not on behalf of her son. It's on behalf of herself. And based on what I've heard, and I understand the context that this is a very emotional thing for you. You have a son with
Daughter.
her son, and there are issues involving that, and you don't need to go into them for me. I can just tell from your voice, and you know, you're explaining to me, and I won't make any finding as to whether you did the events that constitute the crime in this case, but I'll just, with your acknowledgement that you've reacted in ways that probably are inappropriate based on your emotional state, I'm going to grant Ms. Khanna's request that you have no contact with her, not go within 1,000 feet of her residence, her vehicles. And Ms. Khanna, this order will be in effect for 1 year from today's date. And if you need it renewed, you'll have to come back to court and ask for it to be renewed. Ms.
Okay.
Khanna, do you understand all that?
कहना कि 1 साल तक रहूगा होगा Thank you.
And let me ask a question here. Who is Yesavi? Yes,
That's my daughter.
and it's not, okay, that's not, obviously not your son, Ms. Riley, correct?
No.
Okay, and so Payal, you live with your mom?
I we live on the same couple streets away, but the property I'm renting, it's her property. I'm renting from her.
Okay, and your name is not on this form. Yes Hasvi is. And tell me why Yes Hasvi's name is on the petition.
Yes, because the day when this punching happened, I was not home and I left my baby with my mom. And then when this whole situation happened, my mom was holding the baby inside. And they were keep saying, go inside. And so they backed up the car and my mom was standing there and the baby was behind the house, like in the front, right behind my mom. So I was so worried that something's gonna happen to the baby because she was right there, and they try to back up the car and it was almost trying to hit my mom, and the baby was right behind it. So I leave my baby to my mom's.
Okay, yeah, thank you. You've answered the question I needed to have answered. Thank you. And Ms. Riley, how close to Ms. Khanna do you live?
For the time being, I live in 1510 College Street, the Diamond Head Apartments, so it's a little bit away.
Yeah, I mean, is it 100 feet away? Is it half a mile away? Just give me just a
So
guess.
10 minutes away. 10 minutes?
Okay. 10 minutes by car?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. And you don't work for Ms. Khanna, correct?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, Ms. Riley, I have granted Ms. Abhilash Khanna's request for a protection order. You're to have no contact with her at all. You're not to go within 1,000 feet of her residence, her business, or her vehicles. And I have removed her granddaughter from the protection order since the petitioner is filing on her behalf, and her mother, the granddaughter's mother, has not filed a separate petition. And Ms. Khanna, if you want this order renewed, after it expires in 1 year, you would have to come back to court and make that request. Any questions? Ms. Khanna?
No, thank you.
No.
Ms. Riley, any questions?
No.
Okay, so make sure you tell your attorney tomorrow what happened, that you did not say anything about the charge, and that there was an order entered between you and Ms. Khanna, and that's all. It has nothing to do with her son. It just is entered between you and Ms. Khanna.
What I speak to about this, like, I have a lawyer, but I really don't know what I'm supposed to do or talk to, because on the 19th, there was a domestic violence situation. I called the police for the first time and nothing happened. There was a situation prior to this where he punched me in my back 8 times, and I went over to their work and I did that, but there's just so much. Who would I talk to about this?
You would speak to your attorney tomorrow, let him know the full story, and the attorney will be able to give you advice as to how best to proceed on all of those things.
Okay. I just.
Yep.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Ms. Khanna.
Thank you.
Both of you raise your right hands, please. Swear the testimony in this case to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes, sir.
Yes.
You both had mentioned in your petitions that there was a prior order involving Mr. Van Sickle, but I didn't see any prior orders on behalf of either one of you. He has lots of orders against him from other people. I assume that's what you meant.
Yeah, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of misdemeanor breaking the no contact order just recently, like in the last probably month and a half, 2 months ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
I have the original. I believe this is the original order here, sir.
Okay,
I have the number if you would like it.
that's okay. Yeah, I saw that in there. But you had previously not had any civil protection orders against him.
Well, I did last year. It just expired here like in the last
Okay,
2 or 3 months.
did you, Ms. Coffin?
No.
Okay.
It was suggested I should, but I didn't at the time.
Okay. All right, and so I had read all about Mr. Van Sickle harassing Mr. Huber, and you live nearby?
I live at the residence of right next door to him. Yes, we share the same fence line.
With Mr. Van Sickle?
Yes.
Okay, why do you believe he's harassing you? I understand from what I've read why Mr. Huber believes he's harassing him. Why do you believe it's personal to you?
Because his tool is his music. He plays it loud enough that you can hear it down the road. It's in my home, and I can't even be in my yard and even use the telephone because it's so loud.
So you live on one side of Mr. Van Sickle,
Mhm.
and where do you live, Mr. Huber, related to him?
I own the rental she lives in, and I also own the property that's right next door to that rental.
Okay, and do you reside in either of them?
Yes.
Okay. So. According to you, Mr. Van Sickle has made threats against you,
Multiple times.
and those are what resulted in his conviction on the,
Yes. I've recorded it multiple times, Your Honor.
okay.
And that's what they made their decision off of. And he pleaded guilty to it, 2 counts.
And since he has been sentenced, has anything changed?
I was hoping so, but it has not.
And tell me what's going on?
Well, a tree had fallen across from my property to actually the property is not his property, it's his brother's property. He lives in a trailer up in the front of it. And a tree just recently fell across my property to his property. And I already talked to his brother about it and all that kind of stuff, but Jimmy gets drunk and he has issues and he started threatening me and stuff and that kind of thing again. So that's why I re-upped the order again.
And I looked in here and I saw that his brother has had protection orders against him.
Yes, his brother, yes. I believe so on the, I believe when he pleaded guilty, I think his brother he pleaded guilty to 3 things and one of them was against his brother. I don't know exactly what it was, but I know there was something I think it was some kind of assault thing or something.
Okay, and the ones involving you were his threats to.
Yeah, threats, yes.
Engage in violence against you.
Yes, and he's pushed me before, tried to engage, and I ran off.
Okay. All right.
And I've been dealing with this now for about 3 years now, so, and I finally ended up going to court to try to take care of it.
Okay. So, back to you, Ms. Kaufman. That's what I've just heard is consistent with what I've read. Other than you were sort of in the war zone here, has anything that Mr. Van Sickle has done, is it directed at you in any specific way?
No, not.
Well, he does drive.
He drives by and stares. He literally will stop his car.
Tell me about it. Then go ahead and describe it.
Like I'll be in the yard and he will do a slow-mo, even stare right in front of my yard and stare. And then he will creep to the either intersection or to his driveway.
He does that to me all the time too.
Stalking behavior.
Has he ever at any point said anything specific to you that would indicate he's upset with you?
No, but he does scare me enough the last time when he was insulting him and harassing him. that I didn't want to even go outside because I was afraid. He vanished a toy gun threatening him.
Threatening Mr. Huber.
Mr.
Yes.
Huber, and BA'd him. And I just feel that sometimes these things could exaggerate into something else. I could get hurt.
And so you're in between the two of them.
Yes.
Okay. But he's not said anything to you at any point in time.
No, I avoid him at all costs. I don't even cross the street. I stay in lately he hasn't been around since he's been served, and I can actually be in my front yard without being harassed with his loud music and shouts.
Okay. But are the shouts ever directed at you?
No.
The shouts are directed at
Him.
Mr. Huber, all of them? Is there any other neighbor that has the ire of Mr. Van Sickle?
No.
And do you live right on Fir Tree Road, or is there a cul-de-sac there? What's the story?
It's actually a little mini house right there on Fir Tree Road. It's a little cottage like 1-bedroom house.
So you all are right on
Yes,
properties all front on Fir Tree.
Yes.
yes.
Okay, and have you filed noise complaints with the sheriff's office?
Yes.
I mean, you specifically.
Yes.
And what have they done about those?
They said to they
Call the county.
they told me to call the county for the noise ordinance. He does this thing where he turns the music up and then turns it back down, turns it back up and turns it back down. This
That's your.
the noise disturbance that he said I told her it is equivalent to mowing the says let RP know of the curfew hours at 10 p.m. I told her that it was equivalent to mowing your grass, as you want to be able to do such normal things during the hours, but it shouldn't be after 10 p.m. Granted, I let her know it's annoying what the neighbors are doing such without taking into account others. I told her to call back if Jimmy continues to do past 10. She stated she's going to get a protection order against him. I told her the order is fine, but it's a legal right to make noises properly within reason. She said he's doing it to harass him. It was not within reason.
It was at 10 o'clock.
Even during the daytime, it is so loud, I cannot be even in my front yard. I can't even receive a phone call. And when I come inside, it's in my house. I just recovering from foot reconstruction surgery, so I was in bed for a month and a half. And it was hard and difficult for me to sleep. And just be comfortable with he's doing it. He turns it up whenever he sees him. He will try to get his attention whenever he can. Just him crossing the road to go to his shop.
Okay. And Mr. Huber, for you, what's the recent event that occurred that has you here again?
He was threatened to want to fight me again. Giving at me again, like he always does.
Which is similar to the threats he was making
Yes.
before.
Yeah, not much has changed. I was hoping. That's the prediction. But it's not.
this all occurs around the house. It doesn't occur at place of work or anything like this.
Well, no, my work is right across the street. So I walk across the streets, and usually it happens as I'm crossing the street. Most of the time is when it happens.
Does he own his house? You say he's in a trailer, right?
Yeah,
His
excuse me,
brother
yeah.
owns a property. He has a trailer in the front.
Yes, I'm really good friends with his brother. We've been really good neighbors since I lived there.
Number one, Ms. Kaufman, even though he's very annoying, I can't issue an order because it's not directed at you. You're the victim. It's in the middle of this. However, there may be some relief here, so sit tight and listen to it. Since the activity of Mr. Van Sickle is directed at Mr. Huber, who has previously been convicted of violating a prior no contact order regarding Mr. Huber, and has engaged in ongoing activity, which would seem to indicate that did not learn from the prior conviction. I will enter Mr. Huber's request for a protection order. In entering the request for a protection order, I've made the finding here that Mr. Van Sickle uses the playing of loud music between the hours of 8 in the morning, or pardon me, between the hours of 10 at night and 8 in the morning as a means of harassing Mr. Huber specifically, and you are the victim of that harassment as well in that sense. So with that finding, I have directed Mr. Van Sickle once again to have no contact with you at all, not to go on your property, your workplace. He's not to go within 100 feet of any of that, your property or your workplace. I've also directed that he may not play loud music between the hours. That can be any music that can be heard outside of his house between the hours of between the hours of 10 in the evening and 8 in the morning. So that doesn't solve your day-long problem. I understand that, but hopefully you'll get some relief if he complies with the order of the court not to play loud music after 10 o'clock at night and not till 8 o'clock in the morning. After that, you're going to have to work with the county if you believe his music is so loud that it's annoying a piece of the neighborhood during daylight hours. You're going to have to just work with them. But we can't use this process to deal with that. I can use this process where I find that it's very obvious to me that he's intentionally doing it to create harassment. And so between those hours, I'm satisfied that I can make that point. All right. So we'll give you each a copy of the order that I've signed, the denial order for you, and then the order for Mr. Huber. But I do think you'll be somewhat benefited by the order that I granted Mr. Huber. All right, Ms. Delapaz and Mr. Hine, if you would both activate your audio video, please.
I only have audio, sir.
Have video capability.
I do not. It's not on this phone.
Ms. Delapaz.
Yes.
You,
No,
okay,
I don't have video on mine.
all right. You both raise your right hands. Do you swear the testimony in this case will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so Ms. Delapaz, your husband recently passed away?
Yes.
All right, I'm sorry about that. And Mr. Hine used to live on your property, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, when did Mr. Hine vacate the property?
My husband gave him a minivan so he could move on to live in that, and that's been last year sometime, I think October.
Okay, but you indicate here in your petition that since that happened, Mr. Hine has come onto your property repeatedly, and you said he's taking tools that belong to your husband, is that right?
Yes.
And have you reported that to the sheriff's office?
I haven't. They were out here. They were out here when the excavator was here, and I told them about it.
And that was a stolen excavator?
Yes.
And meaning you believe Mr. Hine had stolen that excavator? Was
Well,
brought to your,
yes, he did. He was out here using it.
okay, and how do you know it was stolen?
I didn't know until the next morning, and the sheriff showed up and they asked me if there was an excavator, and I said yes. Brandon said he borrowed one from his friend and brought it out yesterday, and they told me
Okay.
it was stolen.
All right, did you tell them that he had been coming to your property to take your husband's tools?
I've told him when we were walking out, what was going on, and a lot of things missing around here, a little here and there, and you don't really know it until you look for it. And I have lists that my husband made that he has taken.
Okay, but since your husband died, how often has Mr. Hine come to your property?
He came out to get some of his scrap metal that he's got out in the back because he's dumped stuff out there often when we were not home. And he'd been coming out for a couple of days, maybe a week, with his buddy. And it seems like every time they go out, they grab something else on the way out.
Okay, when was the last time he was there?
I think it was in March or April, probably April. No, it was
Okay,
May
so
because that's when he got the excavator.
it was May when he got the excavator?
Yes, that was the last. Well, he came out the next day, and then the sheriff picked him up because they were waiting for him.
Right, okay. Yeah, I see a criminal charge from that day, May 13th, it looks like. All
Yeah,
right,
brought it May
so
11th.
since that date, has Mr. Hine come to your property?
Yes, he's been around out here. I haven't seen him because he comes around at night.
Mm-hmm. And have you told him to stay off your property?
I don't have a phone number for him. I haven't talked to him at all. The judge told me not to talk to him, have no contact with him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And Mr. Holler, pardon me, Mr. Hine, have you been going to Ms. Delapaz's property without her permission?
No, sir. I actually have proof that I sent her messages with my new number that I've got, and I have proof that I've not been out there since the May 13th. I've even have sent her messages, and every time I've went out there, I've asked her, I'm like, hey, can I come out to get my stuff out back? Because I have my truck out there that Ron let me keep. There's a trailer that I borrowed from her to go move some of my stuff out of my storage unit because I lost it and it got sold. That is all, like, her trailer's plumb full of my stuff. And I got a couple other things out there, a mower and a dozer. And I've asked every time to come out there. I'm like, I wouldn't show up out there at all without asking her. Because that was the
Okay.
agreement that we made when I first went out there. And like you can't, she's got cameras on her property too. And I've not taken Ron's tools. Like, I had a bunch of tools out there. Like, I'm a mechanic and Ron knew that. And I worked 2 years up in Tacoma before I lost my house and lost everything else. And that's when Ron let me stay in a vehicle out back. And I stayed in his driveway until he got tired of that, and he just pushed me out to the very back corner of his property and said, here, you can stay back here, until I got the van from him and left. And then when I left, I went to Port Orchard, and I've been gone ever since. I didn't come back, but it was like 5 times or so right before March 13th.
No.
So, and what's going on with the criminal charge?
That one got dropped. It got dismissed.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like 2 weeks after it was filed. It doesn't
Yeah,
say
it got
dismissed.
dismissed.
Well, okay, just
Well,
so
I
you know,
called
it
into my-
doesn't
Okay.
say dismissed. It just says the court canceled the hearing. Now, when I see that, what it tells me most likely is that their prosecutor's office is reconsidering whether they are going to go forward. At this point, there are no further hearings scheduled, but you need to understand, don't be surprised if they refile it. But all I saw was canceled hearing. I didn't see anything about a case being dismissed. Just, that's all I can
Okay.
see. That's what it says.
Okay. Yeah, the only way I knew about it was my lawyer. I called and talked to her, and she was like, yeah, everything got dismissed or dropped because of hearing got canceled and there was no evidence, or something with the evidence wasn't supportive or something like that. I don't remember what. And just went on
All
with
right.
that.
And do you have, Ms. Delapaz, do you have an email address?
Yes.
And Mr. Hine, do you know Ms. Delapaz's email address?
No, I do not.
Ms. Delapaz, do you want Mr. Hine to know your email address?
I don't care if he does, as long as he's not bugging me all the time.
Okay. Mr. Hine, are you prepared to write an email address down?
Yep.
Okay, Ms. Delapaz, go ahead. What's your email address?
It's DELAPAZJULIE1 @gmail.com.
Did you get that, Mr. Hine?
Yep.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to do in this case is I'm not going to grant the protection order, but Ms. Delapaz has made very clear, Mr. Hine, that you're not welcome on the property without her permission. And I don't want to get into a fight over I called and left a message, or I talked to you and the person denying it. So the only way permission will be granted in this case is via email. So there's a written record of it. So if you want to go onto the property for any reason and you need Ms. Delapaz's permission to do so, You have to make that request via email and have a response back from her via email before you can go onto the property. You understand that?
Okay. Yeah, because all I want to do is I just want to get my things back and I'm done. I want to just go separate ways.
Right, you've
So-
said that, so, but I want to be clear, you can't just show up there and you can't
Oh, I
try to
don't just
call
show
her.
up. No.
So we need a written record of it, so you cannot go onto the property unless you have an email back from Ms. Delapaz saying you can come on the property for whatever date and time and purpose that you have indicated in the email. Okay?
Okay. Mhm.
All right, so for that purpose, I'll enter the denial of this request for an order, but if you're back there without her permission, then I will most likely be entering an order at that time.
Alrighty. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Ms. Delapaz. Do you have any questions?
Yes, he says he hasn't been out here since March, but I've got many people that have seen him that were on my property the same day that the sheriff come to pick him up.
Okay, well, when we go forward, because from now on, he cannot be on your property unless you have given him email permission to do so. So this should not be a problem. If he's out there without that email permission, you come back in, let us know, and we'll schedule another hearing.
Okay,
All right, thank you both.
thank you.
Yep.
Shit.
Ms. Barrett and Karina Harris. Good morning.
Good morning. I don't believe that Karina has been served.
No, that's the information I have as well. Do you have any information about that?
I gave it to the sheriff's office. They said that they had a date listed for yesterday to be the day that they served her by, but they just had not gotten to that. And I just don't have, very many people in my circle that I could even ask to help get her served.
Where's Kenny Road?
Off Delphi,
Okay.
so
And
sort of by the
so
Black
are
Lake.
you two of you neighbors?
So she moved in with her dad about a year ago. So her dad lives across the street from me. There's not really any sidewalks or, we just kind of each have a lot of property.
Right, okay. And is she still there? Is she still living with her dad?
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, have you tried calling law enforcement when you see her there and say, hey, Miss Harris is across the street from me. Can you go serve her? Have you tried that?
Well, so we don't see her property. She can't see our property and we can't see hers. So, whatever it is that affects her about me so much is beyond me, because we can't see each other at all. You can't see my house from the road. So a lot of information that she knows about me it feels creepy. But also what affects me the most is I cannot ignore her anymore as much as I try to. Because for one, I came with my husband this last spring asking for a protection order because we were being asked for a lot of money from her, and there was never any rationing with her as far as, hey, if my dogs are in the road according to you, is what she's saying, can you call me if that's an issue? Because typically she's telling us that these dogs are in the road while they're next to us, and then she'll say, well, they were in the road yesterday or something like this. So it's never anything that can be resolved. So trying to ignore her has become impossible because she's now increased in the amount of money she's demanding from me. And the letters that she sends are threats with, you will go to jail, or, a judge will be the one to decide your fate, or things like that. And so it is terrifying to have those kinds of threats because I'm working class. And I'm just not quite sure, whatever legal standing she says she has, because I'm not a lawyer. So anytime she calls and tells me to jump, I basically have been jumping. And so it's taking me from my job. Now having to do this takes me from my job. So I just kind of want to be left without living in fear of her and her legal consequences.
So how did she come up with it? Pardon me, with the number $41,412? Where does that come from?
So it's increased from, you know, some number in the 8,000s. It was like 8,800 something that she was asking for a fence. And so we thought, well, can you have a conversation with us about why you feel you need a fence when they have a fence and it's open all the time? It's wide open all the time. And so there was never any ability, because in my opinion, you know, in my nursing judgment, she appears very intoxicated when she does come to our house, or she just doesn't come at all. So the only time I think she feels upset enough to show up to her home is if she's intoxicated, and there's no rationing. So as far as where the original demand for money came from, I'm not sure. It's just the very beginning when we first met her, we were asked for $8,000 something for a fence. And this was how we met her. So since then it's increased, and some of that is for, she says, defamation, for asking an officer to help her leave our property.
Okay. All right. Well, number one, you're not in trouble. There's no criminal charge filed. So you can't go to jail without a criminal charge having been filed. And you would know if one were filed. So that's not a thing. Now, you know, a judge will decide all that. I mean, that's me. But you have a hearing before a judge decides anything, and you can have your say just like you are today. So I'm telling you all that so you can take what she's saying with a grain of salt.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, you've asked me to direct Ms. Harris to leave you alone. Unfortunately, because she hasn't been served, I can't direct her anything right now. And I do see that Judge Meyer didn't make any finding. I assume he wanted to wait and get her side of the story before he did. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm willing to reset this another 2 weeks. So we'd be back here on the 18th of August if you want to try to get her noted up to be here. So she'll have to get a copy of the notice of hearing, which I assume Judge Meyer explained this to you. You can have an adult not related to you give it to her, or you can have the sheriff's office give it to her. They'll probably charge you for doing that. And once she has the notice, if she doesn't appear, then we can actually do something at the hearing. But if she doesn't have the notice, we can't do anything at the hearing. Or you can just drop it all together. So I'm going to leave that up to you. Do you want me to keep the hearing date for the 18th of August?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we will provide you, or do you want us to give the notice of hearing to the Thurston County Sheriff's Office, and you stay in touch with them if you can assist them with letting them know when you believe she's in the area, even though you can't see her home? Or do you want to just have an adult not related to you attempt to go serve? How would you like to do that?
I would need help with the sheriff. I don't have relatives, or I'm sorry, I don't have anybody that could help me.
All right. So we just keep it over to the sheriff's office. So we'll get it to the sheriff's office, and my suggestion in your situation would be to check in with the sheriff's office, tell them you have a protection order request and there's a notice of hearing that needs to be served on Ms. Harris. And you just want to check in with them and ask them if there's anything you can do to help in that regard. Like, you know, I don't know, tell them when she comes over to your house, or when you see her walking the street, or whatever, maybe they can get there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I will do that.
See you back in this very same Zoom room 2 weeks from today.
All right. Thank you so much.
You.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this at 9 a.m. same time?
Same time. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett.
All right. Thank you.
You were listening to the last case. You're in the same boat. We don't have proof of service on Ms. Cassatt, so we can't do anything without that happening. So we can reset it 2 weeks. Once again, you can try to get her the notice of hearing, or you can just drop it all together. It's up to you.
Well, I've had somebody go over there 3 different times on 3 different occasions, and I've documented it. I've contacted Olympia Police Department as well to see if they would help assist. The gentleman that I spoke with, the officer, stated that either I can request a continuance like what you're stating, or either the judge can make a decision from there. But if I can request a continuance, I will try and document that as well.
Okay, so yeah, documenting it just isn't gonna get us anywhere unless she actually gets a copy of the notice of hearing. So that's what has to happen. And so
Okay.
I can.
Nobody's answering the door when I have the person that is not related to the situation. Nobody's
Right.
answering the door. They've tried knocking on the doors. You can hear people come to the door on the other side, but nobody will answer it. And from my understanding, what she has stated that she's living in her car. So I had the individual go over to the vehicle that was over where her daughter's house is, where she kind of resides there, and check in the vehicle and around the vehicle, and she's not there on 3 different occasions.
Okay. And so is this all out on Black Lake?
The text messages, the showing up is at my unit on Black Lake. Yes.
Okay. And where do you believe that she is staying in her car at her daughter's? Where does her daughter live that you believe she's staying?
Her daughter lives off of Pear Street, 421 Northeast.
Okay.
It's called the Pear Street Apartments. And I know that her car, there's a vehicle that she said that she had parked out there, and I've seen it out there before. And so, because unfortunately we've had a previous order, and she's also mentioned things in her text messages as well. So she's deemed by I've spoke with before, Lacey Police Department and Olympia Police Department, and she's considered a transient. The last time I had gotten her served, and they actually had a warrant at that time, so that's why Lacey Police Department was able to actually serve her, because they were looking for her. That's the only reason why I knew that. But now I know that she has stated that she's been living with her daughter, but then got kicked out, and then she's been living in her car.
Okay. And do you think her car is parked in the parking lot of the Pear Street Apartments?
I think it's outside of the apartments. It's by a church or some sort. I think it's called Harbor Church.
All right. So that's in City of. Right.
I'm sorry. What was that?
So that's in the City of Olympia, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Does she go to the Harbor Church? Are they providing services to her?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know that detailed information.
All right. Let's reschedule this. I do note that Commissioner Wool did not enter an order. So we'll reset it for a week from today. So that'll be the 18th of August. Now, I'm going to authorize the Department service. You should check them, provide them whatever information you can so that they can have some reason to go out with hope that they can find her, because they're not just around for they have so you can provide them some specific information and they're going to but we can't do anything unless you get served a copy.
Okay, understood. And you said that was August 18th at what time? I apologize.
At 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Okay. All right. I will
Okay.
do that.
Okay, so we'll, hold on just a second. Okay, not to OPD.
I'll give her a copy of it as well, but I'll email.
Okay, we will do part of the job here for you. We will email the notice to Olympia Police Department. So
Okay.
you will also get a copy of that notice telling you it's the 18th of August. But then if I were you, I would follow up with the Olympia Police Department, let them know that you're Ms. Bursich and you're the one who has the hearing scheduled for the 18th, and just talk to them and see if there's any way you can assist them getting her served.
Okay. I will do that. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Ms. Bursich.
Thank you.
And Ms. Overmeyer, once again, same boat. Mr. Reed has not been served. Do you have any information on that?
I've talked to the police. I had called them probably about 4 days ago, and I asked them if it's been served yet. And he said that he was printing it out and gonna drop it off like that minute. But I never got a call back, so I'm assuming that he's just kind of avoiding it.
All right. So you live in Tenino, he lives off Little Rock Road,
Yes.
and you were talking to the sheriff's office?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we don't have anything back from them, so I'm assuming it was not served, which means that the temporary order that Commissioner Wool gave you doesn't take effect. It can't take effect until it's actually given to Mr. Reed.
Okay.
So I just want you to be clear on that. Once again, we can reset this 2 weeks to come back on the 18th, and I can send it back to the sheriff's office, or you can have an adult not related to you go to the address on Little Rock Road and give it to Mr. Reed. Which do you want to do?
I don't have anybody that could serve him because everybody that could and that wasn't related to the situation is related to me. And then everybody else I have knows him and was involved in the situation.
Okay. Now, I will indicate, having read what you filed in this case, it was unclear to me, but it appeared that you were indicating that Mr. Reed had raped you. Do you believe that's what happened?
It's an odd situation. I was staying at his house and I had suspicion of it. I was sleeping and intoxicated, but it's suspicion, and I got checked out and stuff like that. I didn't have anything, but
I ask only because that would definitely be an issue if we had a hearing. And the potential of serious criminal charge like that, Mr. Reed is going to have to be advised by the court about things he says. So
yeah, I don't really have any interest in charging him with anything. I just want him to stay away from me because he just circles my work and stuff like that, and he has made another girl there uncomfortable, and both of us just don't feel safe.
Right. Yeah, I read what you had in there. He used to be your supervisor, right?
Yeah, he was head sushi chef at the place that I work.
Okay. All right. So we're sending it back to the sheriff's office to try to get service at the address on Little Rock Road?
Yeah.
That's what you want us to do?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we'll do that. And you're going to have to reach out to the sheriff's office to provide them any assistance
Okay.
that you can as to, what information you have about, how he comes and goes from that place, when he's likely there, when he's likely not there.
Yeah.
And the more information you can provide them, the more likely it is that they'll be able to get him served.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about that?
I do not.
Okay, so hearing once again, 18 August, 2 weeks from today at 9 o'clock in the morning. Get this to sheriff.
Yeah.
And we'll get it to the sheriff's office, so you should call them later today and say that you're Ms. Overmeyer, they have a notice, temporary orders that needs service on Mr. Reed, and tell them whatever information you have that might help them. Okay?
Thank you so much.
All righty, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Yep, bye-bye.